So, tell me something terrible. How's that new mic stand treating you?
Great.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel fancy now?
No.
No?
I'm still adjusting.
To it?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you just need to touch it?
There's a lot of things going on in my peripherals, and it's really distracting.
You're going to have to just take a deep breath and get over it.
I don't think I can.
Good.
It's fine.
Will you introduce us?
Oh, hi, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Scott.
And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, you are. And it's just us this week.
Yes, it is.
Which is like, fun because it's just us, but kind of lonely. The Zoom call was fun.
It was.
I hope you guys enjoyed those.
Yes.
I don't care if you did, because we did. It'd be a bonus if you guys did. And a bunch of people listened to the first half.
Catch up, guys.
No, I feel like we got a big influx because Jamie has a bit of a
some new listeners.
Yeah, he's got his following from his video game playing.
Yeah, and the second
Twitch.
one was still a little bit longer.
Yeah,
than our normal episodes.
100%. And this will be the only podcast this week.
Sorry.
Savor it, cherish it.
We'll probably have
Billy Madison.
No. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, you get the reference.
The pudgy kid where he's like,
Billy,
I want to go.
It's Billy, I can't wait till I get to go to high school. Cherish it.
I like it when you do it, you get the cheek shake.
Well, yeah, that's what the kid gets because he shakes his face.
So there may be surprise 2 episodes a week in
Every
the
once in a
future.
while.
Yeah.
If we record a shorty, we'll sneak another one
and
in
also
there maybe.
if I have a slow week and I have nothing better to do because it's close to fall, winter in Michigan, so at some point we'll be snowed in.
Will we? You work in the backyard and I have 4-wheel drive. We will never be snowed in.
You're right.
We will go
Clients
on.
might not be able to make last winter.
Shit, this road never gets plowed.
Oh shit.
You're going to have to shovel.
Oh
No, they'll be fine.
Oh no.
They can always park in our... You can always message them and be like, hey, park in the normal driveway.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, that's not relevant to this podcast.
Well, last fall when I first reopened back here...
You're confusing everyone.
When I first... last winter when I first reopened back here, I had a few clients. There was a big storm that came through that were like, I can't make it. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah. We just got back from vacation-ish. 3-day weekend.
A weekend.
Yeah.
That's what we do in Michigan. We don't actually take vacations. We just take weekends up north.
100%. Yeah. Yep. And we went putt-putting and bumper boating and Go-Kart. It was we had the best weekend if you were a 14-year-old boy, which is fine. Because that's
the premise of this podcast. 14-year-old boys.
Yes. If you like a good fart joke, some penis humor.
There will be aplenty.
Fart jokes in this one?
Mm-hmm. And penis humor.
This is one of the few, not few. Most of the time I at least see a tab every once in a while where I know a subject. I have no idea where this one's going.
Good. I'm really
so that should
excited.
be fun. And we have had copious amounts of gin tonight. Mm-hmm. So maybe less yawny. I said yawn, so you'll probably yawn. We haven't had Vizzies yet, but that's where I might default to after this. We just got to shamelessly plug that Vizzy.
They tweeted us back.
They did tweet us back that they currently don't have any sponsorships, and I was like, you definitely don't if you just look to see how many followers we have on Twitter. They're like, oh, they have 150 followers. Hard no, bub. But anyway.
That's exactly how they said it, too, since they're from Canada.
They are Canadian. That's right.
It's because I did that episode on the Canadian schools, so they were like, not these people.
I keep watching the Molson stock because I know how good Vizzies are, but it's the only... Where are you going? You can't leave. We're in the middle of a podcast. What'd you do? Oh, you shut the door to the cat room? By the cat room, I mean our bathroom / laundry room / cat room.
He would just keep pawing on it for the next 45 minutes.
And he's a big boy. You'd hear it.
You would.
Anyway, will you proceed with your topic?
Oh,
I got
yes.
football to watch, homie. This is the one podcast where I'm going to be like, lady, we got a 45-minute limit tonight.
Okay.
Just kidding. It's the Lions. They suck.
That's why he said they'll be playing for the next 2 hours.
And for our... what did I say? We had a German listener and something else.
Yeah.
I'm talking American football. And it's the Detroit Lions.
Not soccer.
Correct. Not football. American football. Don't call it soccer. I think that's offensive. It's American football, not actual football.
Okay.
The dumb part about American football is they rarely use their feet.
Yeah.
4 times a game.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I realize it's a dumb name. I don't even know if a football is a foot long. It's not. It's longer than that. So I don't know any reason why it's called football. Anywho, you look dumbstruck.
Yes.
Her
There
jaw
really
just
is
hit her new
no-
mic stand.
There's no correlation.
Also, your forearm bruise is very distracting.
I don't know how it happened.
You drank a lot this weekend and we were around a big dog. I'm just going to chalk it up to that.
Most likely.
And we slept in bunk beds like children.
Yes.
Calling
we did.
back to the 14-year-old boys. The last time, like I said, the last time I slept in a bunk bed before this weekend in a random Verbo was at Jamie's house, who was on the podcast last week.
Full circle.
Because he had bunk beds when we were growing up.
Yeah, we love a good case of serendipity.
I thought you were going to say callback.
Nope, serendipity.
We love
absolutely.
callbacks too.
Speaking
Anyway.
of which, this whole episode is going to be callback.
Oh, I've already heard this one?
Nope, I'm going to ruin something that I said I was going to ruin for a while now. So we're going to talk about cereal, shall we?
Oh, like actual cereal and not serial killers
Yes.
for once.
Actual cereal.
Okay.
Okay.
Good news. I don't ever eat cereal. So
Oh, good.
This is going to ruin almost nothing for me. We won't tell the kid about this.
No.
Do you ruin Honey Nut Cheerios?
Are they by Kellogg's?
I have no idea.
Who makes Honey Nut Cheerios?
I don't know.
Here's my phone.
Your phone,
Google it
I'll just
real
go look
quick.
in the pantry. You keep reading. Read loud. General Mills makes Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
I'm back and I'm winded. Oh, boy. Oh,
He had to run 5 feet to the kitchen.
I would say that's 14 feet both ways. So at least 28 feet.
Sure.
Okay. Keep reading. That was Lil. It just sounded like someone came through our ceiling. Santa Claus just landed. That was the sleigh.
So we're going to talk about a defunct diagnosis real quick before
what?
a defunct diagnosis.
Not defunct.
Defunct.
Defunct. Okay.
A defunct diagnosis real quick called auto intoxication.
Auto intoxication.
Yep.
So us on a Monday
Yes.
when we record the podcast.
So this is a discredited, although now there's kind of a little bit of a resurgence since it was sort of trying to find a way to link gut health to the rest of the body, but it wound up going quickly off the deep end. And it's also definitely on the verge of going off the deep end again based on my Google research. And so in my opinion, honestly, it probably has a lot to do with the same things that caused it to go off the rails over 100 years ago.
But there is some sort of correlation between gut health.
For sure. It's
okay.
between the mind. They're finding a lot. Okay, so fun fact. One of the reasons
love
why,
fun facts.
one of the reasons why a lot of the side effects to a lot of pill like antidepressants that affect your serotonin can affect your digestive system, where they're like, oh, you might get nauseous. Oh, this might happen. It's because you actually can find serotonin in the gut as well. So they are doing more research as to how like the gut mind-brain barrier
I'm
works.
reminded that I went to school for biochemistry over a decade ago and how research just forges on without me.
Yeah.
And I'm lazy and don't actually keep up on any of it.
Well, and nowadays they're actually doing like blood work and stuff to determine what sort of antidepressants might be best for you.
Okay.
I'm still not going to I'm not going to personally venture down that path because of the past 20 years of my life and bad experiences, but everything's different for everybody. So if you feel like you need it medicated, get it medicated. Who cares if you throw up a little bit? There's hundreds of it.
Antidepressants.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is a discredited disease. My Lord.
Discredited?
Disease.
Discredited disease.
Starting off strong. Where it's believed that the toxins left over from the digestive process, if it is left too long in the intestines, would get absorbed back into the body and literally poison our blood and therefore everything else.
Are you going to get around to cereal?
In a second.
Okay.
I promise it connects. So, that's not really how our intestines work, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So auto-intoxication was used to explain everything from nervousness, seizure disorder, chronic constipation, and pretty much all diseases. In order to combat this self-poisoning, some doctors and some not-so doctors, like your crazy naturopaths, would suggest a wide array of treatments, including a healthy diet, removal of intestines, or the
What?
colon.
Removal?
Removal.
Like of just a chunk or all of it?
Like a chunk.
Okay. I was just say you need some of it, right?
Yes. So they would, the theory is that if there was less time that your food that has been fully digested spent in your large intestine and in your colon, then there was less time for your body to absorb the toxins that were in your fecal matter.
That seems like bad science.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the fact that we've evolved over the last tens of thousands of years into the machines that we are now.
So you're just making 2 small intestines instead of having a small and a large.
Yes.
Cool.
So they also did cleansings, hydrotherapy, bacteriology, which is removing the bad bacteria and replenishing it with good microflora.
It's called taking antibiotics.
Yeah. All right. A lot of antibiotics also kill good flora.
I know.
But it's not just, it's probiotics.
It's broad spectrum antibiotics kill most of your normal gut flora.
And then you take some probiotics and it'll fix it.
Kind of.
Oh, look, bro, I've been there. And I know
No. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Me too, from a very personal experience. When I'm pretty sure every bacterium in my body was completely destroyed when I had sepsis.
Probiotics are like the Kickstarter. Your body still needs to grow its own normal flora.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you've had it completely wiped out from 6 months of like 5 different antibiotics, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you've taken a full dose of broad spectrum antibiotics and you
10 days is not going to wreck anything.
No, but if you take no, it will. But then if you turn around and they're like, oh, I ate an Activia, I'm fine. You just got to give it your body needs this time. Bodies are crazy impressive. You just got to give them time.
Yeah. Well, back in this day and age, they were like, fuck it, we don't need time. We're going to start interfering.
Yeah. With Cheerios.
Just wait.
You're supposed to sing that line.
Just you wait.
There you go.
Am I drunk enough for that?
I don't know. That was kind of pitchy, so maybe.
So it was important then to keep
Had to
your
keep
gut.
your streak alive.
We're on episode 7 now, you said?
Of you straight singing?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't actually listen to these episodes.
This was important to keep your gut biome healthy, which, makes sense nowadays, as we've just discussed. But there were also some extreme ideas and treatments surrounding the auto-intoxication and also your gut biome back in like the late 1800s to early 1900s.
Okay.
So one of these doctors, who is an actual doctor, his name was John Harvey Kellogg.
Hey, he sounds like a cereal name I've heard before.
Yep. So, this is the guy who made this is the name attached to Frosted Flakes, Wheaties, Fruit Loops.
Sugar.
Yeah, sugar. We'll get there. So Dr. Kellogg was described over and over as, in all the articles that I read, as a tireless American medical doctor, inventor, nutritionist, health activist, businessman, and eugenicist.
A straight white male, she says, with a smirk in her face.
With just a sprinkle of Nazism in the flavor of eugenics.
Okay.
So he had a strong
He
belief.
was just pushing that envelope in the name of science.
Just like all the Nazis. So it was a strong belief. He also had a strong belief that in what he dubbed biologic living, which was centered around health reform, temperance, and aphrodisiacs.
I'm not familiar with aphrodisiacs.
Do you know what an aphrodisiac is?
Yes.
And what do they do?
Well, they increase your libido and your love life, right?
So what do you think that an aphrodisiac does?
Well, I would get Anna.
Yeah.
Not so much. They're the same in this case?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it suppresses.
Mm-hmm.
So he believed in total cleanliness internally and externally. So he was always wearing white head to toe, his suit, his shoes, his Panama hat, and the umbrella cockatoo that was frequently chilling on his shoulder.
Oh.
I know. We would have gotten along.
Isn't that like the villain from the second Iron Man movie?
Yes, it is.
There's that crazy guy who does the big whippy things and he shows up at the IndyCar race.
It's a callback from some show in the 70s.
Is it now?
Mm-hmm. Beretta?
What?
Beretta.
I wasn't alive in the 70s. Don't nod at me like I'm going to figure it out.
My dad got all excited and he was like, it's a Beretta bird. I'm like, we have a Beretta bird and I'm just now hearing about this and I'm 30? Okay.
No idea.
So
Was it MASH? When was MASH?
No,
was that the
Beretta
70s?
was the
no,
show.
I'm just joking of like shows.
Yeah, it was the 70s, I think.
Okay. That 70s show, I'm down with.
Was not the 70s.
I wonder if those hold up. We should start watching those.
Yeah, we
Are they on
should.
demand? Netflix?
We've got to find them
those,
somewhere.
Those feel Hulu-ish.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
I've gone off the rails.
he was born in Tyrone,
Slightly.
Michigan in 1852.
Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's Cereal City.
Battle
US,
Creek.
Battle Creek.
So he was born in Tyrone, Michigan in 1852 to Anne and John
Tyrone?
Preston. I have no fucking clue.
I was going to say, I've not.
It is on the
I don't care. It's
east
fine.
side of the state. It's on the east side of the state.
So by Detroit?
I don't know.
That's the east side.
Detroit, Flint,
Thumbish.
Huron. I don't know. I didn't actually
You're
look
just
it
going to
up.
name towns.
Yep.
He was born and raised in South Detroit.
He was like right here. Ish. I actually have I'm not 100%
If you
sure.
point on the side opposite your thumb, that would be the west side
shit.
of the state. Yes.
Thumb is on this side. He's from over here.
Okay, cool.
And he moved to over here
Okay.
near the pinky.
She was using her hand map and she was doing it incorrectly.
All wrong.
She's like, this is my wrong hand.
I've lived here my whole life. Still fuck it up.
Look at my left hand. That's not actually the state of Michigan. Oh, wait,
The
here's my
right
right
hand.
hand.
For those of you not from the Midwest.
Yes. Hold on. Long drag off her drink there.
Yep.
I don't know who was like, between the two of us, was like, let's record a podcast with metal straws and drinks with ice, but
You made the drinks. It's your fault.
the dangerous straws are your fault.
So
What?
I don't know who ordered them.
Oh, I definitely
I
ordered
think
them
it
off
was
of
you,
Amazon.
yes.
Yes.
So he was born in 1852. And then eventually their family with their 17 children packed up and moved
Whoa,
to
what?
17 children.
Jeepers.
John got married. He'd
What did
been
they
married
pack
twice.
up in a bus?
Just
like-
a couple wagons.
That makes the Brady Bunch seem like a small family.
Yeah. Well, okay. To be fair,
No. 17 children. I don't care how many
John-
marriages you've pieced together. That's a shit. That's a class.
two
That's like
marriages.
an entire graduating class of 1852 or
Yeah.
whatever year
Yep.
you said.
so John was married twice. And so he had six kids from his first marriage, 11 kids from Anna.
Holy shit.
Yes. And then I think.
So his second marriage, he had 11 kids?
Yes.
So
And
he
I'm
met this lady, and they were popping out one a year for like 15 years. Like
on a
probably.
good year, there was two a year if he hit
Oh,
it just
them
right.
Irish
Yeah.
twins. Yeah.
Yes. So they wound up packing up and moving to Jackson.
Our town?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. And then when John was a year
Where do they
old-
live here? We should find out.
Oh, we should. So like John was born, they packed up and moved, and they were in Jackson for just a bit.
What if they lived here?
Wait, what year was this?
1852. They
Oh my fucking God.
It could
There's a
have been here.
potential they could have moved here and built this house.
right?
It was built in 1856. It totally could have happened.
Yeah, you couldn't fit 19 people up in this house though.
No, except John was a year old when they moved to Jackson.
That's fine.
Yeah. So actually the math doesn't work.
I was just trying to lead you down a rabbit hole. What?
Look, it's going to be
Keep
long
going.
enough.
The Lions are up 14-7. Let's go, lady.
So then they packed up again when John was 4 years old, and they followed the newest sect of the Seventh-day Adventists.
Oh, they love chickens. That's literally all I know about the Seventh-day Adventists.
You're going to learn a lot more.
Okay, but all I know is that a girl I used to date's brother, not gonna name names, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
One of his best
No,
friends.
stop.
No, one of his best friends was a Seventh-day Adventist. His family was, and they
His wife might listen to this podcast.
What? No, it's
Oh, a different one?
it's just no, it's some anyway. It's a guy. I don't even know the guy's name. I don't remember, but his parents
Oh,
were
it's a
Seventh-day
different
Adventists.
one. Okay.
Yeah, he his friends were Seventh-day Adventists, and they had like a chicken coop and chickens, and like that was like a big part of their whole thing. Was like I don't know
Do you think that's our neighbor's problem?
that they're Seventh-day Adventists. No, they are Baptists.
Southern Baptists.
They're not Southern Baptists.
Beesh, you can't cut your hair or wear pants.
That doesn't mean they're Southern Baptist.
Isn't that the sect of Baptists that
No,
does that?
it's just Baptist. They love getting together, making food, and being conservative. I
And
don't
their
know what you want
women
from
better
that.
be quiet. STFU,
Will you
just make the chicken.
stop? Move on, cheapers, lady.
Anyway, they wound up following the newest sect of the Seventh-day Adventists, which was headed by Ellen and James White, which their families were obviously a member of that church. As John grew up, he got a job working for Ellen, which was that sect of the Adventists. It was their self-proclaimed prophet.
Wait.
Ellen.
She was a lady prophet?
She was a lady prophet.
Look at them go.
I
See,
know.
They're not as conservative as you thought.
Sure. She was probably allowed to wear pants.
Maybe. She prophesied them wearing pants. It's like, I have a vision of me with both legs surrounded by clothing.
And I can cut my hair.
Individually.
And I'm allowed to cut my hair.
Yep. And do bum stuff.
Bum stuff? Oh, that escalated.
That's how Ellen says it, because she's still a little churchy. No?
We need to find out if there's an Ellen that goes to our church.
Will you get closer to your mic, lady? You're stressing me out.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
You just slowly drift farther and farther back.
Because I'm trying not to laugh too loud because it gets real nasally and obnoxious.
That was you laughing,
Very,
not me.
very Fran Drescher-esque.
Yeah.
So he got the job working for Ellen, and this is where he interned, and he recorded and listened to Ellen's theories on health. So they worked in print. Ellen would spew off all of her nonsense, and then he'd be like, this makes a lot of sense.
They're called prophecies.
Sure.
Okay.
So these theories included vegetarianism, drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water a day, fresh air, water therapy, electrotherapy, exercise, no sugar, masticating, no tobacco, caffeine or alcohol or drugs or vaccines, and also a healthy colon, which is achieved by ways of enema and a bland diet to prevent excitement and sexual arousal.
Wow.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
I was like, okay with like the first two things. I was like, all right. And then it just got worse. And then it got boring. And then I thought it was going to get kinky, and it didn't.
No.
It got the opposite.
Yes.
It got just kind of, like cold showery. Yes. It's the equivalent of the cold shower diet.
Yes.
Here's your saltine crackers. Don't you?
Not even salted. Here's your cracker.
Yeah.
This is like the same sort of philosophy is applied to the creation of the graham cracker.
What's wrong with graham crackers?
They are nothing like they are today. There was no honey, there was no cinnamon, there was no sugar, it was nothing. It was just wheat and ginger. That was it.
Hey, that's better than just wheat.
It is much better than wheat. Graham had a way better idea than Dr. Kellogg, who was just wheat.
Okay.
And nuts.
I'm just wondering how we got to Tony the Tiger here.
We'll get to it.
Okay. Will we?
Yep. Yes. So
sounds great.
So at first, John Kellogg decided to try his hand as an educator, but the Whites had other plans. They decided...
That's a family. Just so everyone's on board here.
Even though we're talking about eugenics.
Okay, but normally when you say the Whites, you mean something different.
I usually mean just white men. Yep. But this time we're actually talking about Alan and James. So they needed young Seventh Adventist day doctors to work in their newest adventure, the Western Reform Institute. And so off to Bellevue Hospital College in New York, John Kellogg goes. And then he comes back and finishes school at...
U of M?
Yes, he does.
Nice. I wonder if he was there at the same time as Jack the Ripper.
Oh, shit.
Was he the one that was at U of M?
Yes. I think Jack the Ripper was a little bit earlier.
Okay.
But in my research, they do mention electricity at the Chicago Fair, so I'm not 100% sure. You should Google it. I need to know. Google it right now.
Google what?
While we're looking, when was Jack the Ripper...
Jack the Whipper.
When was Jack the Whipper active?
Or at U of M.
Yeah, so he fully graduated in 1876 and proceeded to work for the Whites and became the owner and operator of the Western Reform Institute. Found a date?
What?
1876 is when Dr. Kellogg graduated.
1888.
So close, about the same time. I knew it was close because I think that about the turn of the century is when the World's Fair happened in Chicago.
No.
I think 1888.
Jack the Ripper didn't go to U of M. It wasn't H.H. Holmes.
Oh, fuck. We're getting conspiracies.
We are.
We're getting
and some people think they're the same person. Some
yes.
people think they're the same person.
Yes. H.H. Holmes. There's a great documentary. What was it from? It was really good, but it turns out they're not related. But we highly recommend watching. Like, it was a few years ago where there's a theory that H.H. Holmes and Jack
H.H. Holmes
Ripper
was at
is
U
the
of
same.
M from 1882 to 1884.
So just a few years later.
Attaboy,
Yeah.
U of M.
And I think like
Way to just keep pumping
I think
through
the
them.
World's Fair might have happened in 1888 or something about like that with a bunch of the
Do
electricity.
the World's Fair still happen? Like
I
in
don't-
any capacity?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Back then it was like a big deal.
I feel like that's something like Elon Musk is going to try to like grab hold of and try to make a thing again.
Look, Elon Musk needs to drown in the ocean.
I'm just saying that it seems like something he would gravitate towards.
Yeah? Him and Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
Do you want me to have another mental breakdown?
No, every time I
Just
hear
an
Jeff
existential
Bezos'
crisis.
voice now, it's in
Bo Burnham?
Bo Burnham. Bezos.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Anyway, if you haven't watched Bo Burnham's special, what's it called? Inside?
Yes.
Yep.
Go watch it.
Highly suggest.
And then have an existential crisis with me.
Maybe do it under whatever substance you prefer.
Yes.
Or all of them. I don't care.
Or learn how to disassociate really well.
Yep. And then listen to the soundtrack on repeat. That's what you did.
Look, I have to stim somehow to concentrate.
Jeffrey Bezos. Anyway, that's the only way I can hear it now.
I listened to it today while I was writing this.
Good.
So eventually, he became the owner-operator of the Western Reform Institute, founded by the Whites, which he later renamed the Battle Creek Sanatorium. And this is where things get really fun.
Is it a haunted building we can go visit?
No,
Lame.
there's offices and stuff in it now.
So we could still go visit it.
Yep.
We go hide in a bathroom until they close.
Yes, we do like bathrooms. There's rogue drip sounds in there.
Yes.
So the Sands, which it became known as,
The what?
the Sands. So it was the Battle Creek Sanatorium.
Okay,
Yep.
sanatorium.
So he smashed whatever term was used for the TB hospitals, sanatoriums, together with sanitation and came up with sanatorium. There's literally like 2 letters difference.
Okay, I just assumed it was the same thing.
No, they're very close. So he was
Practically
riding off
cousins.
that high. Marketing. He's really good at marketing, but
Yeah.
he didn't listen to his brother. We'll get to it. So this was the Western Reform Institute was near collapsing as a company, but when Dr. Kellogg came along and took over and renamed it, he had some ideas to turn it into a grand health spa resort that eventually attracted some of the United States' most renowned citizens, including Thomas Edison, John Rockefeller, Henry Ford, Amelia Earhart, Booker T. Washington, and Sojourner Truth.
Andy looks like Booker T. Washington. In case you're ever curious of who Andy looks like, 100% it's Booker T. Washington.
Emily's never going to be able to look at him the same.
That's fine. I think she listens, right?
Yes, she 100% listens.
If she listens and she's never Googled Booker T. Washington, I'm going to warn you. That's
it's going to ruin your marriage.
That is your husband. I don't know what happened to him over that period of time between then and now, but it is the same person. Have you ever seen Booker T. Washington?
Yes. We've had this discussion
We have.
about 5 years ago.
Yeah. No, every
That's
time.
how we gossip.
Every time Booker T. Washington comes up in anything in my life, I'm like,
Andy.
it's fucking Andy, man.
Yes. So, at its height, the SAN had 700 beds and had seen over
I feel like
200,000
I've heard
patients.
this portion before.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The dollop.
Did they do this?
They had to have mentioned it at some point.
Because for me, no, it's different. Ghost Adventures went to some sort of health resort where the similar people went to.
This might have been it.
No, but I thought it was out west somewhere.
Oh, yeah, no.
Where there was like natural water and
Yes, there's a mineral
okay.
place because that's on my bucket list. I was in like Arizona or something like that. I would love to go.
But
there.
it's on some sort of natural
Same
spring
concepts,
mineral.
hydrotherapy. This
It could have been like in that Nevada-y area.
also, Dr. Kellogg was convinced you will cure every disease, any affliction known to man with water alone.
I mean, if we all drink more water, we'd all be healthier. That's as far as I'll go.
That is
Yep.
just because of respiratory. Like, this man thinks he didn't take the smallpox vaccine because he was convinced that hydrotherapy would cure him of anything.
Is this how he died?
No, he died of pneumonia.
Oh, he couldn't water the pneumonia out of his system? Maybe next time.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Water is obviously important. We need it for cellular respiration.
We're a lot of water, yeah.
Yes, we're 70% water. You need it. It does help prevent like basic diseases. Like, I'm sure if I drank more water as a child and didn't eat like, ravioli out of a can and didn't take as much ibuprofen.
And frozen pizzas.
I'd probably not
pizza
have
rolls.
celiac disease. Like, to be fair, it's going back to that gut biome thing. There is relevance here. They just went off the fucking deep end.
Well, the prophet Ellen told me so.
Literally. She really did.
Good.
So, they wound up treating over 200,000 patients, and the disease that it was treated for was mostly just like every disease known kind of circled back to that auto intoxication issue. So these treatments took a holistic approach, including good hygiene and diet, exercise, which included a lot of like Dr. Kellogg's own inventions, like that belt that you see like videos of, where people are just standing there and they've got this like foot long like belt that's just like shimmying them back and forth and stuff.
Yeah,
that was actually one of Dr. Kellogg's inventions. It was so popular that it wound up on the Titanic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it's like a vibrator for your whole body.
Yep. It's just a shimmy shake everything.
I mean, it would burn some calories.
Yeah, it really work on that core strength.
Yeah.
It's good for having babies. You need core strength.
No,
I've been there. Didn't. I've done that. So
I thought you meant vibrators were good for having babies. I was like, that's not how that works, Tiff.
No, the core strength is good for having babies. It also included sunbathing, hydrotherapy, and a bland diet of mostly grains, nuts, and fruit. He actually, side note, real quick, invented... Is
that where Raisin Bran came from?
No, but it's where peanut butter came from.
Oh.
Yes, and this is also where, after reading my research, I realized the lie that is perpetuated through our society, which you and I just discussed within the last 2 weeks.
That peanut butter is healthy?
That peanut butter is healthy and full of protein. Because Dr. Kellogg was like, oh, of course, this is going to be a great replacement for meat, because his diet required you to cut out as much meat as possible. Yes, and that you were going to you were able to replenish your protein with nut butters. And because peanuts were the cheapest nut, peanut butter became popular as a protein replacement, which is lies.
Peanut butter is delicious. It's just not healthy.
It's just fat.
Well, no,
good fat.
There's protein in it.
No,
there's protein in it,
but not like chicken breast.
No,
or bacon or anything.
No,
and there are good omega fatty acids in it.
If you're a vegetarian,
eat beans or chickpeas.
Okay, but like almond butter or almond butter is probably better for you. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, the fact that people are always like, "Oh, peanut butter is good for you." Peanut butter is good for like kids, our kid that needs calories, like massive amounts of calorie dense food because she's tiny, doesn't eat anything. But yeah, when people are like, "Oh, I'm eating healthy," and they're like eating like peanut butter pretzels, I'm like,
on like a whole wheat bread.
No, like the peanut butter filled pretzels. I'm like, those are like they're just so they're tough.
You eat 3 of them and it's 500 calories.
And that's not 500 calories.
And it's a slight exaggeration. I'm prone to exaggeration.
I think 9 pieces are 190 calories.
Oh, well, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Okay, but that's like a handful.
Oh,
it's
that
like
is as
9.
bad as I thought it was going to be.
So you have like 3 little handfuls of peanut butter pretzels, and you've had a meal.
And now we know why obesity is a problem in the United States.
Well, and everybody's like, "Oh, peanut butter crackers," and I'm like,
"Don't do
cool." Enriched wheat flour and peanut butter. Anyway,
hummus, hummus.
Hummus is not the key either, but
okay, but it's a good replacement because there's a lot more protein in it.
No, there's not.
There's more protein than peanuts.
No, there's not. There's not.
There's not?
No.
Oh Lord.
It's just lower calories than cheese.
Look,
and isn't dairy. That's why it's a replacement for you. Anyway, nobody cares about these dumb
doesn't matter
dietary replacements.
This is what we look into when we're not talking about serial killers.
Yeah, when we're not on the here, this is our conversations about my weird obsession with food.
So anyway,
that's what you get for being diabetic for 20 years, and you just stared at labels since you were literally 13.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I know all sorts of terrible, and because I have tried to lose weight and like lift and exercise a little bit, but it's like become a bit obsessive.
It's fine.
It's that healthy unhealthy relationship with food.
You're
balance.
not anorexic, and that's all I'm asking for.
Have you seen me? Clearly, I'm not anorexic.
Look, I'm pudgy and had bouts of anorexia, so that don't mean shit.
I'm built by chicken wings, chicken
and peanut butter
and gin. Yes.
So, he recommended a bland diet of mostly the grains, nuts, and fruits, and avoiding meat as much as possible. There were chewing exercises, which entails chewing food 40 times before swallowing to ease the work of the intestines.
It's actually a diet trick that they teach people too.
Because if you eat slowly, because it takes 20 minutes for your body, your stomach to tell your brain you're full.
Which is why it's a great idea. If you're trying to lose weight, this is something we've never done, but is always a good idea. The whole like appetizer, like side salad to start a meal is a great idea.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah. If you just have like, even if it's a dumb salad with like a tiny bit of dressing.
Not covered in
and
ranch.
like tomatoes and like lettuce and a little bit like.
That sounds horrible.
It will, okay, whatever. But I'm saying it will trigger the response that by the time you start eating your actual meal, like how many times you go to a restaurant, you get that bread appetizer, and I don't care how little or big that bread is.
Tell me about how much you love that bread appetizer.
You used to eat it bread appetizer, you gluten-free crazy person. But you eat that appetizer, and by the time your meal gets there, you eat like a third of your meal, and like I'm stuffed. It's the same concept, but just do it with a tiny little side salad.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
There's also a lot of water and lettuce.
Yeah. You could even eat not a side, like you could just eat while you're cooking, and then by the time you cook, you'll eat less of your giant meal you've cooked.
But, which is a good concept. Again, they take all these great concepts that we know nowadays and just fuck them up.
Well, yeah, that's the learning process.
Could you imagine chewing? So people were forced to chew so much that
think of the jaw lines.
Their teeth were breaking.
So they're going to become omnivores because they're going to have all these ground down teeth.
No, missing teeth. They were shattering in their mouth.
Well, it's because they don't have any calcium in this diet I've heard of.
You're right. There is no good way to take in calcium.
There's no calcium.
So, oh shoot, where was I at? Okay, so the theory behind this was that if the saliva had broken down enough of it, that it would become easier on the small intestines. Because that's the whole goal of auto-intoxication, is to reduce the amount of work your intestines have to do.
Okay.
And then also bowel movements were encouraged after every meal, which leads... He studied a lot of apes, and they were like, they eat and they poop. And so humans must eat and poop.
Only if you drink coffee.
Which isn't allowed.
No caffeine.
So this leads us to the last treatment. Patients would be injected with water enemas, upwards to 15 quarts of water being injected per minute into the colon, about 4 times a day.
Straight into the colon?
Straight into the colon. He even made like an enema machine.
How did you get 15 quarts? I'm guessing. I'm not good with like
there's
conversions.
8 quarts a gallon.
Holy shit.
No, sorry, there's 4 quarts a gallon. That's why it's 4 quarts.
That is a ton of
He literally invented a machine to do this to humans.
To pump a 2 liter up someone's ass in a minute? Yeah.
And he wanted people to shit about 3 to 4 times a day. Okay.
On command.
On command.
Sorry, did you just get done eating? Get to the enema machine. Run. Run.
There was a whole room dedicated.
I need you to shit, even though that food you're eating is still in your stomach. I need you to shit on command.
It gets better. After the 15 quarts per
shit
minute
fest, yep.
was injected, he would then follow...
It's a Pollock painting all over the bathroom. Okay.
So he would then follow these enemas by a pint of yogurt, where half of...
Where does the yogurt go?
We'll get to it.
No.
Nope. Half is consumed orally.
Okay.
And the other half rectally.
What the hell's rectal yogurt going to do?
It's a yogurt enema. They're replacing...
I just can imagine somebody like probing someone with a Go-Gurt. Like lubing up the tip of a Go-Gurt, sticking it inside you, and then squeezing.
Sliding up like toothpaste from the bottom up.
And you just have strawberry shits forever. Isn't that a Beatles song?
So the idea is that they would flush out the system of all the toxins that it shouldn't absorb from your food, and then replace it with the good bacteria that you find in yogurt, which is a real thing, just not as extreme.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some patients seem to struggle with chewing some of the healthy foods.
This episode brought to you by YoPlate Suppositories.
So patients seem to struggle with chewing some of the health food that Dr.
With their
Kellogg,
ass or their mouth?
Their mouth.
Okay.
Was serving.
Okay.
We're going back to the masticating, where people's teeth would literally break and fall out. So John, his wife Ella, which, quick side note, it was rumored that the two never actually consummated their marriage. They definitely slept in separate beds, and they never wound up having any children of their own, but they adopted like 42 kids. I think they fostered 42 kids, and they adopted 8 of them.
Okay.
Yep. Some of them were black, even though they were eugenicists.
Okay.
They just, weren't allowed to like have the same rights or mix with the white kids. Because, eugenics and purity of the lines and stuff.
Okay.
So there was John and his wife Ella, along with his brother Will, who was the one that we all know and love today. He was the Kellogg that's created all of the delicious food, like cereals that we eat today.
So this guy's not the cereal guy.
Mm-mm. This guy invented... We'll get to it.
Okay.
This is a story.
Trudge on.
Yes. So
You're already at 45 minutes. So.
Will is important because of the sugar. He became popular. He was like Corn Flakes and like Rice Krispie treats and things that
He's like, bro, you're nuts. Have you tried this shit?
Yes.
Try the gray stuff. It's delicious.
Literally it.
Okay.
So it is hotly contested who actually developed wheat flakes, which later were tested with corn and rice. Wheat. But generally, the accepted story goes as follows. One night, some flower, I don't understand.
Elderberry flower?
Doesn't matter. It was left out. It got all stale. And instead of throwing it out, the group decided that they were going to run it through these rollers that they were using for making bread. Where it fell apart into these tiny little flakes, which they baked it and discovered it was delicious and delicate and easy to chew without breaking their teeth, especially when it was added to milk.
They could gum the shit out of it.
Yes. Which is on a lot of John's other food inventions, like a twice baked German bread that was that was the one that was shattering people's teeth.
It wasn't covered in like coconut and all the delicious stuff that German chocolate cake?
Yes, absolutely not.
I'm not a big cake guy, but that one I can get behind.
So, according to John, this was all his own idea, running it through the rollers and baking it to make these wheat flakes. But both Will and Ella insisted that they were had a huge part in figuring out the machines that produce the flakes. Will claiming that this process took a ton of time and experimentation. Just it was not something that happened overnight.
Wasn't a happy accident?
Mm-mm.
Like champagne?
Nope.
Voila.
Post-it notes were a happy accident.
That was just my The Rock quote for the night.
Oh, that's a far callback.
Thank you.
So, where was I? Oh, no. So, Will claimed that it took a lot longer than just overnight. And that Ella's role was also further downplayed. So she was someone who was trying to figure out the mechanics of it, rolling it out and stuff like that. And then eventually over time, because Ella apparently just gave in to her husband, she's like, no, I totally didn't do anything. Except from the sounds of it, she'd actually made the rollers and everything that was required.
What was the prophet's name? Ella's the wife.
Ella's the wife. Ellen is the prophet. Yes.
I got confused there for a minute. I was like, wait, I thought she was a prophet, but that was Ellen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So both Will and Ella insisted, blah, blah, blah. I already read that part. Just kidding.
It did.
It's because I didn't use my pen.
You didn't.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Will, Ellen, Bella.
Yep. So
Ellen.
Eventually the pair, as in John and Will, split.
Kellogg Bros.
Yes. So Will slowly bought up stock from the employees until he owned the majority. And this is where he took over the Kellogg cereal company and turned it into an empire. Because sugar.
Okay.
Which John refused to use. So Will was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna make tons of money. He was already selling a bunch of it to people that had been to the sanatorium and had gone off and been like, I'm gonna continue to order all of these wheat flakes so that I can have a nice balanced diet. Mm-hmm. And then Will was like, why don't we turn this into something sellable to the public? And John was like, oh, no, just the sanatorium. And so Will slowly went behind his back and bought up all the stock. And then he actually used his great marketing skills, added a little bit of sugar, took off with Corn Flakes and everything.
Tony the Tiger.
Yes.
Yep.
Tony the Tiger.
That's the whole point of this.
Yes. So.
Should we name this podcast They're Great? They're great. I don't know how many R's we need for that title.
Probably at least 3.
We'll have to look on the box.
Yes.
Is that trademarked?
Yes.
We're such a big podcast. They'll probably come after us.
For sure. So after all of this, John was very butthurt. about the entire situation.
Because all the enemas?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Yes.
had 8 liters ran through his ass today and a Go-Gurt. So
Yep.
he's butthurt. Besides the fact
Yeah.
about his...
That
yeah.
his brother was
Yeah.
like, I'm smarter than you.
Billy Corn Flakes over here fucking up his whole empire. Yeah.
So Will went on to put Battle Creek, Michigan on the map for the delicious sugary cereals that more than likely contributed to the obesity issues we have today. While John decided to focus his life's work on the sands and spreading the truth and the health beliefs of the Seventh-day Adventists, who eventually decided...
The 7-day adventurers, they loved a good vacation.
So eventually the Adventists decided to excommunicate...
Will?
Nope, John.
Okay.
Because they felt like he was drifting too far away from God. Because in John's opinion, God was in everything and not just controlling everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
How progressive.
Yes, apparently it was a big issue, so they kicked him out of the church. And also, he was getting a little too money hungry, and after being forced to rebuild the sands after a fire had burned it to the ground in February of 1902, it was rebuilt against the wishes of Ellen White. It was made up of a fireproof brick structure, double the size of the original sands. It wound up featuring 6 stories, 3 wings, a solarium, which is where people would sunbathe, a palm court, bike riding paths, 8 indoor pools, and hundreds of hydrotherapy baths, and their gleaming white enema room.
Ooh.
There's that Pollock painting.
There you go. It's just got a bench in it with like a place to lean over.
And a bunch of canvases that they put up for sale.
Yes. Yeah.
So along
And
with
a cooler full of yogurts.
along with growing the sands, Will also focused the last 30 years of his career on writing books, lecturing on biological living and the pursuit of eugenics. He spoke outwardly for the need of racial segregation and founded the Race Betterment Foundation, which fought for eugenics registry and in favor of not only preventing race mixing, but also sterilizing, quote, mentally defective persons, all while working on he did all of this all while working on the state of Michigan's health board.
Oh, good. So he had power and an opinion.
And making policies.
And money.
It's fine.
He's a dangerous man.
Flashback to Texas, so we're okay. So he also spent his time publishing over 50 books and countless articles.
That's too many. Like 2 good ones. You don't need 50, bro.
7 of those books were used as textbooks in colleges for medical studies.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
So one of which was titled Plain Facts, which was about sexual health, which grew from about a 356-page book to a 900-page 4-volume series named Plain Facts for Old and Young.
Ooh, riveting.
Yes. So after all the revisions and publishing, inside of this book was where he addresses the public health crisis of... I want to take one guess what the public health crisis is.
Homosexuality.
Masturbation.
Oh. Okay. Something that plagues us all.
Yep. Dr. Kellogg was adamant that masturbation leads to a decay in physical and mental health, along with a decrease in morals. So self-punishment was the worst thing to happen to the human race, worse than war and smallpox.
Self-punishment?
Yep, that's what he called masturbation.
Oh.
Onism, oneism? Doesn't matter. He was not a fan.
No. If more people masturbated, maybe we wouldn't have so much war.
Yes.
Get that out of your system, man. Move on with your day.
So Dr. Kellogg insists that masturbation can lead to death by your own hand.
Don't you jizz in his cornflakes.
That's how that sugar comes from.
What? Cream of wheat? Gross. Sorry, that's the worst joke I've made all podcast.
So this would also cause a myriad of other illnesses, including cancer of the womb.
Cancer of the womb? Like ovarian cancer?
Yes.
From
HPV.
From masturbation?
Yes.
Get your dirty fingers out of there, would you?
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of bacteria in the backside that could get transferred to the front.
Okay.
But usually, if you've reached that sort of sexual exploitation, masturbation is like way in your past.
Yeah, you've evolved.
Yes.
Okay.
This also caused urinary disease, nocturnal emissions.
What? You fart when you sleep? Oh my God, did you hear her fart in her sleep? I bet you she masturbated today. Should we tell the preacher? No, let's tell the serial guy.
So it also caused impotence, epilepsy, insanity.
Epilepsy.
Yep. Mental and physical debility and dimness of vision.
Okay.
It's the whole like, did you ever hear like, if you masturbate, you pull your eye out?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Well.
This is where it stems from. So to stop your child or grown-ass adults that were habitual offenders from slowly killing themselves, he suggested rehabilitation. So for females, this was in the form of cold baths and cold enemas that and that they adopted a bland, sparse diet, and also blistering and chemical castration of the clitoris using carbolic acid.
That's horrible. I was gonna say some chicks some chicks might be into the enemas. They're not gonna be into the acid to the vag. That ain't great.
Nope. It goes from like, oh, this seems kind of harmless to like, oh my God, in a hurry. So
I know you offer vajacials. I don't know if you offer chemical peels to the clitoris. That seems a bit aggressive.
Yes.
Okay.
And then for the males, it was either an unnumbed circumcision
or sandpapered hands.
Mm-hmm.
They glue sandpaper to your hands.
No, it gets worse.
Okay, good.
So the
Great.
In the like older, not just like babies circumcised and they're done. I can't remember. This is like
grown ass men.
Dr. Kellogg himself got circumcised when he was like 37.
As you do.
Yep, unnumbed. Everything.
Like a wedding gift to yourself.
So this was to cause irritation and pain that will deter like touching of the genitals.
Okay.
It was either that or they would take silver sutures.
Don't you want to hear the end of this sentence?
They thread it through the foreskin.
Okay.
Tying it together over the top of the peen.
So every time you get hard, it just rips stitches pretty much?
Yes, it was to prevent erections.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a little fun fact about it, like teenage boys. You don't do it on purpose sometimes. Shit just happens.
Doesn't matter.
I like how they use a silver suture like you're a fucking werewolf too. Like that's gonna prevent things from changing. Oh, it's a full moon. Oh shit, we missed the harvest moon tonight.
Oh no, by like 2 hours.
We'll go check it out after this.
And then we'll sew you up with those silver sutures.
Yes, so I don't turn into a werewolf dick. Yes. So
eventually, as the cost of running the health spa,
I thought you were. I heard chutzpah, like the Jew, like the chutzpah, yeah.
So with the cost of running the health spa increasing and the decline of patients caused by the Great Depression, Dr. Kellogg had to close down the sands. Oh no. So he relocated to Florida.
Okay.
Yep, with Ella, where he opened a smaller, less grand sanatorium called the Health Spa Sanitarium at Miami. And John Kellogg made his way back to Battle Creek in 1943. At the age of 91, he wound up dying from pneumonia.
Poor guy.
Yep.
Is that the end of your story?
Yep. Wait, hold on. No, it's not. There's some good news.
That's kind of an abrupt. Normally you get rounded out a little more.
Nope. We're going to go with the last sentence. I missed my spot. Sorry. So after all of that, Will Kellogg, which is the good brother.
Yep. The sugar brother.
Yep. So I would love a
Sweet
sugar
Will.
brother.
Sweet Will. That's what his mom called him.
Sweet Will. Out of the 17 children.
Crazy ass John and Sweet Will.
So he on the other hand, turned the Kellogg name into a household staple.
He probably died at like 72 of cholesterol issues.
He died after his brother.
Okay.
Yeah, he was younger. Mm-hmm. So he turned the Kellogg name into a household staple and even gave workers at the plants stocks in the company.
Nice.
And
a little equity.
Yes, and he reduced their work week to 30 hours a week.
Well, they had to sleep in so they could have breakfast.
Mm-hmm. This was way back in the 20s when people were like working 70, 80 hours a week and like dying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was like, nah, bro, I'll go home. Have a livable wage at 30 hours a week.
Nice. Are you going to ruin Jiffy for me next week? Or
I can try.
I don't know anything about Jiffy.
Yeah. Me neither. Besides that it's in Chelsea.
Which is not the same direction as Battle Creek in case you're going across your Michigan map.
Yeah. Draw a line up the middle. One's on one side, the other one's on the other.
And we're right in the middle.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
We are the armpit of southern Michigan.
No, we're the armpit between East Lansing and Ann Arbor.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So that's my story.
And you're sticking to it?
Yep.
Okay.
How you feeling after that?
I'm fine.
Do you want to go out and buy some Corn Flakes?
No, you didn't even ruin cereal for me, which is good. You just told me about some crazy brother of a guy who made Corn Flakes.
Okay, no. According to the recorded story, the crazy brother is the one who made the Corn Flakes.
Whatever.
But according
now
to Will, he's like, nah, bro, he's a narcissist and he lied.
Nah, bro, literally.
Yeah, actually, at some point, there is proof that Will tried to reach out to his brother to try to like kind of fix their issues, but Will's secretary, was like, nope, and just threw the letter away.
Wow. Way to just ruin brotherly love.
Okay, there's a lot of other issues. Look,
I imagine it
John
runs
was
deep.
A prick.
John
was
I
awful.
imagine it runs deep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you want to learn more, what's her name from? Oh my gosh, So Dead does a mini series on like a lot of the craziness that like.
Well, there's 15 more siblings to go through.
Yes. No, just between these two. So
one of them invented Hostess. It's crazy.
Yeah. If you
kidding.
if you really want to learn a lot about the Kellogg's and more backstory, I recommend listening to I think it's like the Cereal Chronicles or something like that.
Of the So Dead podcast.
Yeah, the So Dead podcast. It's a good one. It's like an 8-part mini series. It's good.
I won't tune in for that.
You should.
I have so much stuff to listen to. So much stuff. And I forgot my headphones at work today.
Oh, no.
That's like, you get to work and you don't have those headphones. You're like, this is going to be the worst day of my life.
I have to listen to coworkers singing.
I have to listen to humans. Like, the ones around me. Not like educated ones.
A lot of them are educated. Don't be rude.
No. I was actually by myself for most of the day. It was just very quiet, which is worse.
Just leave you to your thoughts and your existential dread.
Yes, pretty much. Like, wow, I got a lot to do today and not any motivation.
All right.
And then the lady at the coffee place tried to kill me with regular sugar caramel. Thanks, lady.
So we'll go over sources. Wikipedia, of course.
Only in your state.
Yep. No. No.
PureMichigan.gov.
No.
I hashtag Pure Michigan a lot of these.
Does it work?
I don't know.
No.
I think it's funny. I do it as a joke. Follow us on Twitter at TMST.
Follow the hashtag Pure Michigan.
Yes.
So there's also entries from encyclopedia.com about J.H. Kellogg and the Sands. And then there's an NIH.gov article titled on auto intoxication and historical precursors of the microbiome gut-brain axis.
Wow.
Look at me go. Those are actual papers.
That
and,
needs
like,
an
studies and
acronym,
shit.
yeah.
Seriously, it was like 6 pages long. This is where I go when I look up ingredients for skincare because the EWC is useless. And then there's also a PBS article titled How Dr. Kellogg's World-Renowned Health Spa Made Him a Wellness Titan. And that's the end of the podcast.
Wow.
Look at me go.
Look at you go. Look at us go.
Took longer than normal.
Always does.
I guess if we're combining both episodes, it seems about on par.
I guess.
All right. Well, I have to pee. I have a strong urination sensation.
The Lions are up 17-14, guys. Mm-hmm. So, spoiler alert, if you don't have cable or whatever.
Or also don't care about the Lions.
About our American football. The worst American football team potentially of all time. That's not even a joke.
What about the Browns?
I mean, they at least had James Brown.
And they at least have a joke.
And we had Barry Sanders.
About poop.
Because
they're
Browns.
Take the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've actually been to the Super Bowl.
Have they? Ah, shit.
Anyway.
Literally.
That was her laugh again. Anyway. As she follows it up with her actual laugh. All right, she's going to pee.
I'm going to file for divorce.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to go contact our lawyers, and we'll go back. Just kidding. The Lions. Green Bay just scored a touchdown. My phone just literally went off. Damn it. All right, anyway.
If you've made it this far.
Congrats. so much congrats.
Seriously.
This one was fun. There was no deaths. I mean, I'm sure people died at that sanatorium, but you didn't bring it up.
Actually, when it burned down, everybody survived.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Okay.
Eat your bowl of Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes.
And thank Will.
Is Frosted
Kellogg.
Flakes actually Kellogg's?
Yes.
Okay, we've referenced it like 20 times, so I'm like, shit, I hope it's actually Frost.
Yes.
Okay.
No, that was literally like the thing. Like back when they started, Will was like, hey, we need to make these things more accessible for people and we should sell them outside of the sands. Also, maybe adding like a skosh of sugar.
So that's how Corn Flakes and Frosted Flakes became best friends? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And then eventually Kellogg's, Will wound up like filing like suit against him and they wound up countersuing. It's a big, it's a big thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Cool
And
story. Cool.
I just told you this story.
I know.
Fuck off. I hate you
All
so
right.
much.
Thanks for listening.
I hope you have a great week and think about enemas when you're eating your breakfast.
Yes. 4 quarts of yogurt up your ass. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMSTPod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at Tell Me Something Terrible.
Oof, that was terrible.